Hey guys, what's up? I'm Phoenix Carnevale and welcome to Everything Martial Arts. Today I have the pleasure of being at the UFC Gym, the grand opening of the UFC Gym in New York City. And there's a special guest here today. It's UFC Bantamweight and the first woman in the octagon, Ronda Rousey. So I'm super excited for that. We're going to ask her questions about what she does to stay not just physically fit, but mentally fit in the octagon. Stay tuned.
And he hasn't cut his hair in what, like 10, 15 years?
About 13.
This guy's great.
I haven't watched it.
He's got to condition. I mean, you got to condition that every once in a while. That's it.
Kenny, I gotta.
Good look. I got my first hair.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Rhonda, first of all, congratulations on all your success. You're a role model for women in martial arts, but you're also a role model for women in fitness. So what do you think some of the best things about what's going on in fitness nowadays are, and what do you think some of the not so great things are?
The one thing that encourages me the most is that I see a trend of women being encouraged to look strong instead of looking, frail and anorexic. And I love that whole fad of seeing like all those CrossFit gyms of like, women being encouraged to like lift weights and do stuff like that. And but I think the UFC gym, nothing really tops stuff like this because it's not just how you look, it's what it does for you. It's not like you're trying to get in shape to look a certain way. It's like you're getting in shape to be able to perform certain tasks, and it's just like it changes how you feel. You don't just feel good looking; you feel useful, and it really helps your self-esteem in more than just a cosmetic way.
Very good question for Dana. He did say a few months back that they were holding a date in November for the 20th anniversary of the UFC. Hopefully it gets legalized in New York first. I don't know, it's a bit of an issue. So I think it's November, not New Year's Eve. You're 1 month off, and absolutely. Although I do charge, as a tribesman should, $10 per picture.
What are some of the things that you don't like about the things you see in fitness?
What's some of the things I don't like? I mean, just kind of like the unacceptance of other body types. There's just, people are given this industry standard of how you're supposed to look, and they beat themselves up about it if they don't happen to perfectly genetically fit that, and some people just aren't. And I always felt like I never really fit into that. I was always, a bigger, stronger girl, and I felt like there was something wrong with me because I didn't have that body type. So even though I wasn't fat, I was in good shape. I didn't look the way that I thought I was supposed to look, and I think those the idea of that there's one way that you're supposed to look is the biggest thing that I see wrong.
We are the UFC Fit team. I'm Mike Dolce, the creator of UFC Fit. What is UFC Fit? UFC Fit is a 12-week total lifestyle transformation program based on the techniques I use to get the world's greatest athletes in shape.
So what are some of the things that you love to do in the gym, and what are some of the things that you don't like to do in the gym?
I hate doing Olympic lifts. I do, and the thing that sucks is I'm really good at cleans, and I hate doing them.
Really?
I'm really good at it, but I hate doing it, and so
What is it that you don't like about it?
I think it's just the simplicity of it. It's so simple. It's just like once you get the technique of it down, like I have the technique of how to do it, so there's nothing like to learn. I don't know, just stuff like just running just to run or to lift weights just to lift. I like stuff like martial arts where there's like a problem behind it and you're solving and you're making decisions, and it pushes you so much mentally that I don't really feel mentally challenged, only physically challenged, and the kind of things that don't engage me at all upstairs, I don't like.
Yeah, I love that you brought up the mental challenge of things, because I think that's the best part of fitness, is just watching yourself progress. And with martial arts, when you train, you learn something new each time. And then when you fight, you can see if you can execute the things that you've learned in real time. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing to some of your opponents, since you've been doing your favorite thing, consecutively?
My favorite things to do? I just like to win and have it look impressive and to have it, be exciting. And I also want to win in such a dramatic way that the person never even wants to entertain the idea of ever fighting me again. I don't just want to win matches. I want to defeat my opponent mentally so much that they've been broken, and any real hope and confidence they ever could have had in themselves and beating me is just gone.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think it comes from really not having too much of a security blanket. You know, I had an amazing family, but they were always like, you got to find your way and you have to perform or you're on your own. We're not here to like pamper you regardless of, you know, if you never really try at life or anything like that. So I think it came from, I never felt too secure. So I even with the way that I fight now, I mean, you never know what could happen. They could say, you know what, we don't want to do that women's division thing anymore. So every single time I fight, I feel like I'm fighting for my livelihood and I'm fighting for everything that I've worked for up to that point is not secure to the point where I feel like I can relax. So
you say you're healthy enough to train, you're training a little more?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's
Yeah,
going on?
I can't, you know, here's the thing is that when I was training 2 or 3 times a day, 6 days a week, so I'm not even close to that schedule. So if I can't do what I was doing before, I wouldn't want to go in there and kind of give a 70% or 80% or 90% effort. I'd want to give it 100%. And haven't been able to do that just yet.
You've been able to really deal with the mental pressure. I mean, like, we're us in your face all the time with microphones, you know, fighting the best of the best, being in the locker rooms with guys who have never had to see that before. What's it like in the locker rooms now when, you know, they're like, what's a chick doing here? Do you notice that? How's that been?
I think that male mixed martial artists are the most underestimated and unappreciated athletes out there, and I've gotten nothing but respect from them. So much respect from the guys, and I've never, once I got past that certain point, I was never made to feel unwelcome in a gym, and I just really see so many things changing within the sport. You know, it's not that these guys are nice to me and treating me with restraint or resentment because they have to, because I happen to be doing well. It's a real legitimate respect from one athlete to another, and that's what I cherish the most.
And they respect you because you're talented and you know what you're talking about. So you'll feel comfortable coaching them then, I guess, on the next season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I'm going to feel very comfortable coaching them, and I mean, it remains to be seen if they feel comfortable being coached by me.
This exercise we call the drop squat. I'll show you how it's done first. We're gonna start with our hands up high again, right at home base, reinforcing that UFC technique. We're gonna take our left leg, we're gonna drop it down to a lunge, feel it in that glute, and then we stand back up again. And we keep going. Down, that knee almost touches the floor, but not quite. So we really isolate the muscle and make sure we're working.
All right, so my last question, well, actually it isn't even a question, it's just something that I wanted you to do for my viewers. There's a quote that you have about self-confidence, like, how dare you take that from me? Can you say that to my viewers?
It came from people telling me all the time that I'm too cocky and I'm too arrogant. And it took me so long to believe in myself. For people to insult me for that belief, I just always thought, how dare you think that I should think less of myself? The kind of person that thinks that I'm too arrogant or I think too much of myself wasn't told enough to believe in themselves, and they're taking their own self-doubt out on me, and I'm not going to let them do that.
Thank you so much. You're the best. Good. Congratulations on Wheaties, too. Didn't you get Wheaties? Didn't you get a Wheaties contract?
No, that was some Twitter, like, somebody messing around. I'm not on a Wheaties. Come on.
Man. Well, it'll happen soon. It'll totally happen soon.
I'm not the Nancy Kerrigan, you know, cap teeth kind of sparkly person that they're looking for.
Who do you think would sponsor you?
I don't know, but I just think that I don't really fit in that conventional role of like, oh, this is the athlete we all want to be, you know.
You kind of are, though, man. You kind of are.
Yeah, man. I like kind of having that little bit of a bad girl stigma to it because it leaves room for error. Once you're supposed to be Miss America perfect, then that's when you go crazy because you can't make any mistakes anymore.
You're the best. Thank you so much for talking to me. Yeah, and look forward to everything you have to do in the future. Thanks again.